welcome to the Riot Games Arena for the start of the Split 3 Elimination Phase and the beginning of Fearless Best of Fives. To kick things off, Shopify Rebellion continue their Split 2 momentum with an undefeated pick and play phase. Question on everyone's minds is, was it just their strength of schedule, or can they compete with the best in the league? Their opponents today, Cloud9 with a chip on their shoulder after missing MSI. Now coming into Elimination Phase as the first seed, they look to continue their dominance on their way through the bracket. Shopify Rebellion versus Cloud9 starts right now. Riot Games Arena, feels good to be back. Feels good to be on the cast with Kobe here for the kickoff of Best of Fives. We got Best of Fives for the rest of the year.
Very fun, Fearless Best of Fives. Let's get into the draft here. Palafox said he is, okay, see, he said 5 on a scale of 0 to 10.
Okay.
I thought that's more than slightly angry. So I feel like he definitely has something, to prove here versus Loki.
That's the sweet zone.
Coming
slightly
in versus
angry.
Cloud9. And then, of course, we've got the Fudge Grudge versus Cloud9. Was on the team for a very, very long time, and Thanatos took his spot. Thanatos, of course, winning player of the week last week, so top lane. Banning the Gwen is always a big respect thing versus Thanatos. He is very, very good at it. That and things like Ambessa are the champions that he has definitely been able to 1v9 carry. We saw last week a Rumble 1v9 carry as well. Renekton also very big for him, and since they're blue side, he might have to blind pick something like that.
It's pretty much all carries. I mean, it's Rumble, Renekton, Ambessa, and Aurora are the ones that he's played so far this split, but it's going to be blue 1 Azir for Cloud9, leaving that top lane pick for later in the draft. So Shopify Rebellion now have a little information on what Loki will be playing, and they're going to answer with Taliyah.
Yep, and Vi and Pantheon both banned out, so the dream best possible pairing's not quite there.
I like those flip-flops. Those are some great flip-flops right there.
Raz known for flipping and flopping so much that he was actually turned into footwear.
He inspired an entire merch line.
Yunara, though, picked up for Shopify here. This champion has really just skyrocketed to the top of pick bans. Varus, of course, on this patch did get some slight nerfs to him. So dropping out of the perma-ban priority, but still very much prioritized as far as picking up. And so they still grab him here for Zven.
But noted, the Rumble still locked in for Thanatos. Also received the changes on this patch, if you remember.
Balancing out the sides.
Yeah, it is blue side, but we no longer get that blue side Rumble buff anymore. But there were some cool changes despite the fact that they changed how the tick rate worked so that red side kind of catches up. Still, I do expect this to be a strong pick.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw Thanatos last week just mega hard carried on his Rumble. Even when the rest of the team were not doing that well in the early phases of the game, Thanatos certainly was. He solo killed Impact, and he also solo won them some team fights. So let's get into it, though. The Galio is the very common counter pick into Rumble. That's what Fudge is going to go with. It's either that or something like the Ornn to play front line as well as lane against that Rumble. So nice stuff here, honestly. So far, I feel like the responses from Shopify have been pretty good, even though Cloud9 are getting some very, very promising picks for themselves as far as their priority list.
And as the next phase of bans come through, I want to acknowledge that signed Loki Mochi. I haven't heard that one before. That's a good nickname for Loki. We're going to have to remember that one. It's going to be a Nico ban.
Are you a fan of Mochi? Is that why?
I love Mochi. Mochi's... Okay, who doesn't like Mochi is the actual question. I have words for them. Poppy and Nico are banned out, though, so it's going to be looking at the bottom lane now. First LTA North game. Hey, welcome to the Riot Games Arena for your first LTA North game.
A few little Tibbers behind him as well. I think that was a Shopify sticker on that Tibbers. Some Shopify, some Rebellion representation there in the crowd.
I see some jerseys out there too.
Yeah.
Although I will say, when I arrived at the studio this morning, there was one person standing in line 30 minutes before we let anyone in a Cloud9 jersey. That's dedication to Cloud9 right there. So shout out to them.
Usually they come through and they post Cloud9 stickers on like every single chair.
Yeah, they really try and sway the audience to their side.
All right, let's catch up though, because they took the draft down for a little bit, and a lot of them were jungle bans here. The Xin and the Trundle that were recently nerfed on this patch, although only fairly slightly, still getting banned out. And you get the prio here for Wukong. Some pretty big team fighting possibilities on this champion, and definitely a huge threat if Contractz is able to get that. When you have a Wukong plus a Galio, the engage can be insane here because it's like knockups into knockups here. So definitely kind of well-rounded team fight brewing here for Shopify. If they can group Cloud9 members up, they definitely have a lot of AoE, a lot of burst damage.
Got a lot of first-timers in the audience. This is good.
Any first-time chatters?
Any first-time yeah, let us know in Twitch chat. Oh, okay, wait, Raz is throwing out the air horn.
This is just a test. This is not a system. I don't think it's an upset. We're just testing it. It worked. Have a great cast.
Raz, that counts as your one. I'm going to count that as Raz's one.
Did you even hear it?
I didn't even hear the air horn.
I think the test failed.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even hear the air horn. I heard Raz.
Yeah. All right, Raz, I'm going to hold you to that one. I don't know what's going on there.
The air horn is like the most pitiful air horn.
They gave Raz the fake air horn because they didn't trust him. I think is what
at least some little like smoky kind of condensation came out of it.
There was an effect, yeah.
So I guess
to make him feel like he's doing something. All right, well, the Alistar and the Skarner are going to be the engage tools for C9, and it's Bard locked in for Seos. We saw Bard Yunara last weekend as well. I wasn't fully convinced by the combination, but maybe Bvoy Seos will show us what this is capable of.
Yeah, see if we can get some roam plays off. You know, maybe they're trying to get some more tools for roaming around to wherever Thanatos is and keep that Rumble down so there's not a repeat of last weekend.
Yeah, I believe it was Tomo and Isles that were piloting this one. But of course, Seos is a support that loves to roam around the map. That's what I think of when I think of Bard, is a support that can get around town and actually help out other lanes.
Yeah, and especially help out your jungler. Because I feel like that's what Seos really shined when he first came into the league here with Shopify, and they immediately sowed synergy between him and Contractz, making a lot of early moves together. So we'll track that if the Bard can get out there with the Wukong. You know, Wukong post level 6. If you get a Bard tunnel in, then you can definitely have some very strong ganks. And Shopify, they of course are the underdogs, but they're aptly named to be the rebellion, you know?
True.
They're trying to rebel against the standings and take down Cloud9.
And if you ask any member of the team, if you ask the coaching staff, they like being the underdogs. They like being the ones punching above their weight class. And Palafox on Pros last weekend said, look, nobody on the team's happy being third. We want to show that we can make that push and be a top 2 team, get into Worlds. Taking down Cloud9 would be step 1 in that. It's C9 versus Shopify Rebellion, game 1.
Okay, stats just got my ear to update me that this is Fudge's first career stage Galio game.
Oh.
Of course, this is a pretty common champion, and it has been a very common pick into Rumble for a while now. And so, of course, he has put in the practice time, you know, on it in scrims and everything. But we'll keep our eyes on that because Cho'Gath is a champion that he played last weekend.
Oh, no.
And that's a champion that he had, you know, used before, and he still forgot about the stacking ultimate buff there. So
can we get a ticker on screen of how many times we reference Fudge's Cho'Gath on broadcast?
That's it.
Twice.
That's it.
Twice so far.
That's it.
Okay. Well, the Galio is a counter matchup into the Rumble. You know, we've seen this in the past. You have that magic resist shield that helps you out in that 1v1 matchup regardless.
And he's actually gone for the phase rush variation too. You can go either the phase rush or the aftershock version, but the phase rush allowing you the ability to work around those harpoons and deal with the slow. Seos here utilizing the generous Bard.
Yeah, that didn't look like it did, but Cosmic Binding just has kind of a mind of its own. Will of its own. So does the portal, for that matter.
No, the portal is completely controlled.
Well, no, but it changes if it wants to complete the full portal or not. As Bvoy actually getting a trade onto Zven early on here, getting very aggressive, pushing Zven back.
Yeah, I mean, Alistar level 1 obviously doesn't have a lot to say about it. Not a lot he can do. So the double range here, and Yunara, you always want to try and stack up your Q and then utilize that Q power. Level 1 is actually very, very strong for this champion. Despite the other abilities not being quite as impressive. So they got the push. They get the push in. Let's see if they can, you know, deny some CS or harass under tower at all. It looks like just going to go up here to make sure, you know, that there is no danger coming from the top side from the Skarner. But as we know, with our God Vision, Blaber here is clearing up to the top side and just
also
in this game
games.
gets his 400th.
That's
nice round number.
That is a nice round number. 20th player, though. That's actually a lot of players that have reached that number as well, but Blaber's been in the league for quite a while. Contractz going for an invade right now. Blaber spots it and actually decides to walk away.
Yeah, because Fudge here was able to push in, use the Galio matchup there. to get some priority and allow Contractz to safely steal away the blue. Looks like Palafox teleporting back out. Was going to teleport out anyway, and just does so a little bit closer to the rest of the invade.
Yeah, and Blaber was sticking around. There were no camps to clear on the bot side. Wanted to get into at least that Gromp, and I don't know if he was spotted there. There was the ward placed down, but he took the blast cone over, so we'll see if Contractz makes any decisions that would signal he knows that Skarner is still on that top half of the map.
Well, I would say that one just signaled it, because he went to go check his blue. Because he was like, oh, okay, did Blaber run immediately that way? And went to go check. Now he knows. Meanwhile, the Scorpion up here after the top crab, looking for a sneak around, but not going to be anything available to him.
Good start for Contractz, able to get in and take away a buff and still have all of his available to him on the bottom side here. So Blaber's just going to have to go for the reset and try and get to the bottom camps as they respawn.
Yeah, the side brush ward there, so Palafox is going to go look to make sure that Skarner was not lurking around to stay around for his Raptors.
Although interesting, yeah, Contractz is going for the Raptors, meaning he didn't go for the buff right away. He did have the steal, so he doesn't need to pick it up right now.
Yeah, he's just going to make sure that there's no extra.
Flash from Loki! Solo kill, first blood to C9's mid laner.
Okay, Loki, he's making a good case for his Rookie of the Year application right here. Loki, a solo kill for Azir is massive. So he has his bow, so he's got all this extra attack speed with the recurve bow, and just that is the confidence to go for the all-in. I love that from him. I mean, we usually talk about completed item power spikes, but attack speed for Azir early on here is quite powerful. So when Palafox moves up for the harassment, Loki's like, I'm not going to take any of that.
Yeah.
He slides really nicely on past Palafox, and then able to flash over the seismic shove, of course, to make sure that he can follow. And not only that, but also Palafox trades his flash afterwards 1-for-1. So it is just the best of all worlds for Loki. Massive, massive lead here for Loki, getting the solo kill. Flashes being traded as well might mean that there are some jungler attacks here. Of course, Palafox has a ward here that does see Blaber again.
Level 5 on the Skarner, so it hasn't hit that level 6 yet. But I'm looking at the inventory of Loki. He picked up a Blasting Wand as well. Palafox is still on boots and a tier. Loki is actually so much stronger than Palafox right now.
Certainly is. The strong point on the map. Blaber, of course, really recovering and figuring out his jungle camps no problem after the blue buff steal away. So he should be pretty even as far as trying to get to that level 6 point. Meanwhile, bottom lane as well, bounce right back as for themselves. This ward, though, has provided quite a bit of value for Shopify. Finally, Blaber will find it and kill it.
Palafox, though, because he sees Blaber up there, is hovering on the bottom side right now as Loki's making sure that he can't walk up onto the minions.
Yeah, being pretty annoying there. Palafox has to take the safe way around. Again, because they traded those flashes, has to be very, very careful. Azir, of course, has his own mobility. So Loki has the confidence with Blaber hovering around to the other side of mid lane. Continue pushing up, keep that pressure. And we'll see if they actually transfer that. I think Blaber should just get his level 6, though. Krugs and Red are up for him.
Thanatos stacking up the Conqueror, though, in the 1v1, doing well there. So Fudge has to back off. Doesn't have TP, so might still stick around. But we also see the Contractz trying to race it at level 6 before he does much. He is still 2 camps ahead of Blaber, as he's going to be passing towards his top side. So even though Fudge is in trouble, oh, he just hit 6. So Contractz is actually hovering mid lane now. Loki no flash from the earlier play, so if Palafox can hit a seismic shove, maybe that's a play.
It would only work if they kind of like try and bait the Azir to dash first. So it would have to be something where you kind of like, you're acting a little bit, but then that could get dangerous, because if Blaber is also there, then Shopify might just lose the 2-on-2 if you're baiting and exposing yourself to the shuffle. So they're like, I don't really want to bait that hard, because then if Skarner is here, then we probably just lose anyway. So they decided to call off the play. I think that's actually wise. You don't want to try too hard. It's mostly like a cover from Contractz. So if Cloud9 started out the gank, then they would be able to respond. They don't want to like try and bait it themselves and get themselves into a bad spot.
Well, as both junglers are now level 6, they could make action happen. There's 2 different objectives on the Rift to look at as the Void Mites just spawned. So do we go topside or do we go bot side? Loki actually went aggressive right there, maybe looking for the shuffle play onto Palafox, but the Unraveled Earth stops him in his tracks. And now here's Seos. Tempered Fate lands. Can they commit onto Loki? Emperor's Divide buys him a lot of space. Flash forward from Contractz, looking for the second Cyclone. Can't quite get onto Loki, but he gets flicked back. Stun doesn't land onto Blaber. In comes Fudge. The Impale lands onto 2, but Shopify Rebellion almost takes up Blaber. Flashes to safety. He's out of there. Cloud9 jungler gets out.
Oh my goodness. Blaber lives with a sliver of HP. Will Vulcan be so lucky?
Oh, he pops the Alistar ultimate. Flash headbutt Fudge back onto the turret. Fudge goes down. C9 will trade their support for it 1-for-1.
Okay, the action continues. A bunch of extra flashes invested actually in this. In the end, Shopify will get the grabs because Blaber is so low, even though he did not die. The teleport is coming back out to lane here. And it is going to be Loki with his completed Nashers.
Big spike here as he teleports up towards the Mites. Shopify Rebellion were able to take one of them. Can they get a second one? They have the Smite available and the Bard portal, but it was dropped early, and they do take it. So that is 2 Mites over to Shopify Rebellion.
Okay, so they do get the credit towards the feats for the objective there, although Cloud9 will deny the extra might. I'd say one of the big things, though, Loki with the teleport back out is farming a turret plate up here. So not only did Loki get the other kill in that trade of kills, he also was able to get a turret plate on top side. He got top minion wave. This Azir, to me, is going to be such a huge story for this game. Loki has been a really, really strong Azir player individually, and with his own play, plus this kind of little skirmish in mid lane, has got himself into a very good position. So this look like here, the big thing is the seismic shove doesn't get full distance because he gets knocked up there by the Wukong ultimate as well. And so Loki actually gets out safe. Blaber just barely with his shield. He flashes away with the shield. He survives. Fudge then flashes out, but we get a little bit extra spicy here. As you know, there's a part 2, Kangas.
Electric Boogaloo. They see Vulcan. They think they can get him.
Yeah, they go in, but he says, you know what? I will flash to trade 1-for-1 for the top laner. He also used his ultimate. And everybody having a little giggle about the skirmish. But in the end, 1 extra grub over to Shopify's side. But I think the big danger and the big worry is all this extra money onto the Azir.
Yeah, 2-0-0 for Loki. Yes, Palafox picked up 1 of the kills, the one onto Vulcan there, but is still behind, has not finished an item, just went for the Lucidity Boots for the cooldown as opposed to Loki having that full item. So in a straight 1v1, we already saw Loki get a solo kill. Palafox has to play very respectfully in this lane.
Yeah, Thanatos as well gets a turret plate off the top plate, that the top tower that they had softened up, so every little turret plate here meaning a lot for these solo laners for Cloud9. And solo laners have definitely been a very, very big part of this C9 lineup. So both Thanatos and Loki getting fed is definitely a good sign for them. We'll see for Shopify, though, because, again, a lot of flashes were used in the mid lane skirmish. I guess Blaber's is actually coming up in fairly timely manner, and since nobody's contesting this dragon, means I don't think he's actually going to be in danger until it comes back up anyways, and Vulcan has Hex Splash, so not really a big deal there. So look, Shopify, I guess first order of business for them will be try and blow Zven's flash, like maybe with just a raw Bard ult setup or something, but the Varus is really the one with low mobility that you want to like try and take advantage of. And so if they can do step 1 of burning Zven's flash while he's in mid lane with some sort of, gank setup or Bard ultimate or something coming through, then they can kind of open up an area for them to actually win one of their fights with like a Wukong and Galio all in or something.
Whenever I hear something like that, I immediately look to a player like Palafox with a Weaver's Wall, because that's another way that you can like lock off the Varus escape path, funnel you into a Cyclone or the Bard ultimate. Even if it's just a fish for that flash, still can be useful for that. But right now, Palafox in the bottom side up against Thanatos, and it's actually Fudge that was in the lane that Loki was running up towards. Again, he's building Magic Resist, so he's happy in either lane. And speaking of Fudge here, reminder that it's actually, he's had quite a career. Most of the time has been on C9. If you look at that, 2024, he wasn't fully active on the roster, but you see only 1 year now, not on Cloud9. And fun fact, the last time they won, he was actually on Cloud9. Last time Cloud9 won, rather.
He has a long history with the organization. I believe him and Jack are still pretty close. And we're definitely going to continue tracking that ascent. I would say Fudge also, just in his time on Shopify, he was a really big part of Shopify's kind of rise. You know, last split when they actually made pretty big improvements was a lot of him in Contractz, I feel like. Thanatos even mentioned it. He was like, after Bvoy trash talk Fudge and called him the worst player in the league, then Fudge got a lot better.
You know,
and
if you play a little angry.
Yeah, Thanatos said that Fudge now went from being, you know, theoretically one of the worst players in the league to the third best top laner. He put him right below himself and Bvoy. So that is some definite improvement off of you know, the trash talk, and then Shopify actually doing quite well versus FlyQuest afterwards, even though they did end up losing that series. So yeah, Fudge definitely has been pretty critical to the new organization that he's on.
Solid KDA, solid kill participation as well, and he's not behind in gold at 14, which is the big part there, because Split 1, that was something that we could not say for a lot of the solo laners of Shopify Rebellion, but you're right, his comeback is a big part of why they've been able to push for top 3s.
Yeah. Of course, this game, technically, he is behind gold.
Okay, yeah. On time to bring it up, I guess.
On average, though. No. But yeah, Galio gonna be just fine. As you mentioned, it's decent into both solo laners, both AP solo laners, and we'll see about the next Galio ultimate, if this one will be impactful, because again, there's so many ways for Shopify to actually get people into position to have good Galio ults, namely Wukong on there, but if you have Bard facilitating the engage, that's really what Shopify are going to be looking for, because even though the Azir did have a very good early start, it's definitely not uncontrollable yet. Shopify very well could have this big explosive team fight where they get a lot of members with the engage.
One of my favorite parts about Bard as a champion is his non-committal engage. He looks for one there, but okay. Zven with a nice little sidestep does not have to burn flash.
Yeah, and of course Zven does have Boots of Swiftness and a Ghost Blade.
True.
So everyone's like, oh man, it is a really bad Bard ult. Nah, well, I mean, he's really fast too.
Yeah.
With Ghost Blade and
average.
with Boots of Swiftness, you are very speedy, and it's pretty hard to hit those anyway. So good job there from Zven. And good job from Cloud9. Kangas, it is just straightforward, by the book. You know, take the dragons, take the Rift Herald here, group up, take your objectives.
They lost 2 grubs. That's all you can count against C9. They're up in kills, they're up in gold, they're up in overall objectives now, with the dragon and the herald taken. Next dragon in under a minute, so they could just go for that feat of monster slain very quickly, as Vulcan will spot out Contractz in the jungle while he's trying to get wards down around the area. This is when we start to look who has their summoner spells, who has their ultimates. Right now, everybody has everything.
You know what's really sad? Is that you would have loved the Bard ultimate there.
True.
Because there's no way that you can miss or mess up denying a Rift Herald charge, because the tower doesn't move.
It can't, you know,
the tower has
away.
0 move speed, so you can always hit the tower with your Bard ult to deny Rift Herald charges. But that one there does get value. They got the mid tower down, and that is going to lead into the next dragon. Only 7 seconds away here on the arrival of that next dragon. So Zven even teleports back out to mid lane to get here ahead of time. He wants to push the mid lane, then rotate over to the objective setup, and once again, by the book here for Cloud9. They have the important ward here. Love this ward. The most important brush in, well, almost the game to me. The one up by Baron's a little bit more important later in the game.
Okay, yeah, but at this point, it's the most important.
That's my favorite one, and they're just going to take the dragon again?
Yeah, Shopify just were, I think, a little slow. They were sending Fudge up topside to catch a wave. The Contractz was resetting coming onto the map, so C9 get a second dragon. And that is the feats of monster slain. And that is also feats of strength right there. They have the upgraded boots now.
Nice.
And everyone has their boots completed, so they actually get all the immediate stats right now.
Very, very good value there. Freak estimated the upgrade value here from just those base boots at about 100 gold per character.
Yeah,
so,
in terms of stats.
Yeah, so with those stats seems, you know, and those are pretty basic stats, so about 500 gold of value with their feats, with nobody upgrading their boots yet. Fudge here does get a small hit on Zven. Is that the opening, Kangas? Is that the beginning of the action?
I don't think so. He got the Yomus, though, so maybe Seos' ultimate will hit now. Yeah, I think 5 steps ahead. But right now, it's just been C9 controlling the map. I mean, they got that mid turret already. They pushed in that top side. Oh, did he walk past one?
Yeah, he wanted to get to the minions quicker, but me...
Oh.
Whenever
he can go back.
Whenever my teammates walk past the pedal, I get unreasonably tilted.
Yeah.
I love that extra experience. The extra adaptive
Can we get a
force
zoom in
is
on
nice,
that, actually?
is nice. Well, the thing is, too, sometimes,
there it is.
Sometimes with the spectator client, there
Oh,
are
Vulcan's going to get it.
there are ghost pedals.
Vulcan, hit it. Yeah!
Yeah! Leave it to the Alistar in the onesie.
I think Vulcan might have hurt us.
Did he? I heard it. That's crazy. Thank you, Vulcan. The gardener that we need.
Yes, yes. But
It's got to be the support player.
Well, will Fudge get this one? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there, and he's not doing anything.
Just spawned.
There were minions that were dying to his tower, so he's probably looking at those.
True. Not paying attention fully. Loki jumping away and is able to get out. Seos was hovering nearby, and that's what we're talking about with the Bard. He can roam around the map, but so far Seos has not actually gotten much done with all of these roams that he has gone for.
Well, we didn't have the camera on him. Did he pick up flowers when he was
That's a
roaming
good
around?
point. They have
only
five.
have 5. That's not a lot.
They could have been all 5 from Seos.
They could.
All we know is we haven't seen... Well, Fudge got one of those, actually. We did see Fudge get one.
Yep. So
Yeah.
4 is the max.
Okay. Well, we'll show a replay, a highlight reel of Seos picking up all those flowers. It's been a relatively...
I hope for Shopify's sake that is not the only replay that we could show for them. Hopefully this game there will be a better replay for Shopify's angle. But Fudge there does escape for now. And with the pace of this game, I mean, we've got 30 seconds on our Otacon arrival. Shopify are grouping around mid first, though.
Looks like they...
And Otacon is going to be top, so that's why they're spending so much time over this vision around top. And Cloud9 have invested a lot here. They've cleaned it out. We saw Vulcan doing the daily cleaning here. They get the top tower done. They're again, this is step by step here for Cloud9.
They just get 2 turrets in a row, uncontested. C9 taking advantage of Shopify's resets. I mean, Fudge backs and goes bot side, so there's nobody on either wave for those moments.
This is looking so good for Cloud9. Everything is going according to plan. They've got double items here on both the Azir as well as the Varus, so they have their poke damage. They can threaten with their Azir shuffles as well. Although I think in this case it'll probably be like defensive Azir ultimates, unless somebody just gets cowed out or something. Because Cloud9's comp are very, very strong here 5-on-5. If they can just keep out Wukong and deal with the Wukong, I think they should just be fine in their setup. Shopify though, they can't continue to just let things go away kind of for free. They're gonna have to choose their moments, and since now they have 2 items on Yunara, maybe, and Otacon is very powerful, so I think you've got to do something about that.
Shopify Rebellion can look to approach. It's actually really clutch for Seos to get rid of the Edge of Night shield on Zven, so he can no longer dodge the ultimate. He will have to use the flash if he wants to reposition. How does Shopify want to approach? They're getting their Wukong into position right now. Seos is very far up and taking big damage from Loki. He's got a portal away to start things off. Contractz trying to be the delivery system in. Targeting Vulcan, targeting Loki. He shuffles away to keep himself alive. Vulcan does go down, but the Equalizer is shredding through the health bars and holding the line for C9. Bartle will land only onto the Azir. Now looking for the front line. Damage on the Blaber. He's tanky. He's able to get away. Flash from Loki. Looking for the hero play. A double kill. Looking for the triple on the Fudge. Loki Moochie shows up in the fight.
Dare we say Rookie of the Year, Loki?
Making a solid argument, Kobe.
He might have my vote. He might have my vote. Let's take another look at it. So Shopify, they go for the engage onto Vulcan here. Seos gets chunked out so heavily beforehand, though. Look at that. Loki just annihilates him, and now they have no Bard Tunnel. So Contractz just goes in anyway onto Vulcan. They do full combo with the Wukong plus the Galio onto the Alistar, and they burn the Alistar through his ult. But Thanatos comes over and lays down this Rumble ult. So Contractz wanted to go back to smite the Otacon because Otacon was low, but this Rumble ultimate just cooks him the entire way. Then, even after the delay of this Bard ulti, Loki's like, they are low enough. I am so strong. I am fed. I'm going in to kill everybody. Look at the rest of the team had left too. Thanatos was walking away. And Loki says, no. We are not letting them get away with this. I will do it. I will chase them down. Thanatos for free?
Ooh, well, I mean, he did do a lot of work in that fight as well, but Loki's the main character for sure. The triple kill, 5-0-1, almost a 3rd item completed. And look at that damage dealt in that last team fight.
So we did say we think that the Azir is going to be the story of this game. And I would still think that is true.
It's turning into a fairy tale,
I think that's still true, yeah.
Legends will be spoken for generations to come at this point.
How do you turn the story around, though, from Shopify's perspective? So at the beginning, you were like, okay, so Loki with a couple kills, he's going to be a problem. Now he has turned into that problem, and it is on them to come up with a solution.
So what I'm hearing, Shopify Rebellion, this is kind of like Star Wars episode, was it 5? I'm trying to think
Loki
the canon
is
here.
the Death Star,
He's
and
the Death Star.
It's been completed.
Yeah, Han Solo was just put in Carbonite. How can the heroes come back from this?
Yeah.
Rebels got to find a way to make it work.
Who's going to fly in there to torpedo the Azir?
Yeah, who's Lando Calrissian? I'm trying to remember my
I think it has to
references here.
I mean, Luke Skywalker's the one who went in there and shot the missiles, right?
He did, yeah, to take down the Death Star.
Okay. So I think that's Contractz.
Yeah, I'm thinking of episode 3. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Contractz is going to have to get in there. I think that they do need to use the Bard ult to help give Contractz more distance, though. Last time we saw Seos get chunked out by Loki beforehand, and then he Bard tunneled in kind of a defensive position. Maybe if you give the Wukong the extra travel distance of a Bard ult, so that then you can use your clone jump for like better positioning towards the Azir with no flash. Maybe that's your hope, but that flash is coming back off cooldown like pretty quickly, and I feel like once he gets his flash back, your hopes drop already from fairly low at killing him to really low.
You could say they'll need a new hope at that point.
Honestly, fair enough. Yeah. Good job.
Well, Contractz' flash will be up before Loki's because he flashed to engage earlier during the Otacon. Loki flashed to clean up the kills.
Slightly, yeah.
So very slightly, there will be a window here that Contractz can try and even get past the Emperor's Divide to make sure he sticks on Loki. But again, that window's so tiny, and even then, I think Loki's getting a third item on this reset. Yep, there we go. Void Step completed, and Contractz only has the 1.5 completed. Ooh, this is looking tough for Shopify Rebellion. C9, though, I mean, this is the story of their split so far, Kobe. They have shown that they are dominant right now, undefeated in Split 3, and now in the best of 5, they're maintaining that momentum and showing that, yeah, they are still going for a title-contending split.
Yeah.
Ball bot side. Ooh, it looks like we're picking out Thanatos. The Rumble in a 1v2 situation. They don't have a lot of damage right now, but it should be enough. Flame Spitter to try and turn on the Palafox is burning him down. But Shopify Rebellion do pick off one in the side lane.
They have to go for the steal now. Contractz has to go for a steal. He has a lot of barracks.
Bvoy somehow got engaged on by Vulcan right there on the side. He has to flash away and cleanse, but the Cosmic Binding, or rather the Tempered Fate, does stall C9's Baron take.
Yeah, it's very risky. Like, you can go for flips when you have Skarner, and you can try and, like, Skarner ult them, but it's still risky. So Cloud9, they're like, you know what? Whatever. You got one pick on Thanatos on the side lane. We're not going to go crazy and go super, super risky with anything, because Shopify, they have made a lot of crazy comebacks. And if you steal a Baron, the objective bounty on Baron plus getting the Baron itself, like that would be the comeback angle for Shopify. So I think Cloud9, even though they did lose out by getting Thanatos getting picked on the side lane, it is a lot of times better to just cut your losses and be like, you know what, we are not going to fall into the sunk cost fallacy. Fine, you pick Thanatos. We're not going to overstay.
Ooh, Fudge teleports down. C9 see it, though. They walk away. And now it's a Baron dance still. C9, with their patience, backing off that Baron, now have Thanatos on the map. Bot lane is pushing in, so they can now group up together. Also, Dragon in 45 seconds. This is sole for C9 if they can take this. So I also like this move. Instead of hovering the Baron, less risk. Instead, just say, hey, drop the wards in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, and Wukong's pretty hard to keep out sometimes because he's very tricky, but you do have an Alistar on your squad too. Vulcan can just go mark, or at least try and mark Contractz. So we'll see. Plenty of vision here set up for Cloud9 leading up to this Dragon Soul. Shopify, what can they do about the Soul? Seos and Fudge are creeping on the side.
Contractz just finished the Sundered Sky. 2 items to the Wukong. Meanwhile, we have 3 items on the carries of C9. Thanatos pushing back Seos. Equalizer goes down, but it whiffs. Bvoy, though, now caught away. Blaber just flashes in and finishes the job. Thanatos almost falls, and he does at the very tail end. Now Contractz completely separated from the rest of the team. Galio coming in. It's a chaotic fight with 3 fronts, but Loki's 1v1 in Contractz. He's got the item advantage. He's got the damage, and he is dominating. C9 are crushing the play. Shopify Rebellion tried to contest, but they just couldn't hold on. C9 will get the dragon.
Is Skarner an assassin? Because Blaber is in there. He's assassinating multiple members. Let's take a look at it. So Shopify focus on Thanatos. They're trying to burn this Rumble down. Both Seos and Bvoy get very low with their fight with Rumble, though, so Blaber flashes in to kill him. And it does start out as 1-for-1, and so Shopify try and continue. But look at this moment here, the chase and the Galio in, where Loki does get kind of split off, but Fudge goes up here to try and focus on Zven, and Loki can just annihilate Contractz down there on the bottom side because the Azir is so fed, you just melt through a Wukong.
And Zven had the flash available. That was a nice seismic shove from Palafox to try and take out the Varus, but he gets out of there, repositions. More damage in the fight. Dragon sold to C9, close to a 7,000 gold lead, plus all the flowers from the Otacon earlier. True. This is looking like a game 1 win for C9.
That is a lot of power. And the Dragon Soul plus the extra Otacon pedals here. All right. Shopify have to mount the comeback of all comebacks.
And 7-0-1 on Loki's Azir. You already brought it up. The desk brought it up as well. A Rookie of the Year is a conversation we're starting to have, and I think Loki is just putting the final, ribbons on his argument that it should be him. Although now he's maybe caught out here, has the flash available, flashes, and the seismic shove does land. Flick back stun into the unraveled.
He did it!
Shut down to Bvoy. The Death Star's down. Can C9 still win the fight? They got Thanatos melting through Shopify Rebellion. It just didn't matter. A double kill to the Rumble. Re-engage on the Palafox. Blaber picking up that one. C9 take 3 members.
Okay, but they did do it in killing Loki.
They did.
The Death Star exploded. Unfortunately, 3 of them also exploded in the Death Star. So Baron is going to be taken by Cloud9, and they will get right back to destroying Shopify structures.
Baron claimed, and now they're even looking at Fudge, but now he's able to walk away.
Okay. Oh. Nice curse, though, by the way.
Yeah. I was trying to build him up.
Live action.
That was instantaneous. Yeah.
Good Bard ult there from Seos, to start it out. They got good positioning on him. Good follow-up from Shopify as well. They didn't utilize their spells too early. Right as soon as he got out of the Bard ultimate and then used his flash to gain distance, they still were able to shove him back. So nicely done. So we'll take a look at it here, how they do it. So just barely there, Theos was able to nail him. And then after the flash, they save the seismic shove. So they get him after the flash. And Bvoy got the shutdown too. So it's actually like dream start. But then he goes in and Alistar, he got into range for Alistar knockup. And Bvoy got kind of roasted there. He got super hypey. He was like, I got the huge shutdown. We're going in. We're going to win. But went right in there next to Alistar. And then Alistar knock up. Thanatos ultimate from Rumble. So Cloud9 still got to respond.
Yeah, sometimes that does happen. The Bard ultimate is tricky because the closer it is, the faster it moves. So when he's that close to you, it's actually pretty hard to dodge away from that. So Loki had the confidence he could shuffle away, did not. No flash available now, but still has the Seeker's Arm Guard completed. So C9 are walking up with this bottom wave shoved in, taking away the tier 2 turret with the Baron empowered push.
Don't think it's going to stop there either. They've got the Azir ult behind them, 4-1 split push, Thanatos pushing up mid. So the siege here should last a long time from Cloud9. And Fudge is going back to base for a Zhonya's completion.
Okay. I mean, maybe that can cause a headache for C9 in a fight, but when you have a 10,000 gold lead plus the Dragon Soul, it's almost impossible to lose fights at this point. And Vulcan just says, we're just going to start right now. Flash, pulverize, gets on the Palafox. Taliyah's out. Blaber now hooks around on the Fudge. Take down the solo laners. Loki 1v2 on the Contractz, and Seos takes down one. Zven with the kill credit. C9 with a mountain of a gold lead. Just walk it, Shopify in their base. Almost a clean ace, as Seos is the only member left alive, but Loki, he was offended by that statement. Cosmic Gravity will keep him alive for a moment, but not that long. C9 made quick work as Shopify Rebellion in game number 1.